107.1 KLSX, the classic rock station. That was a song called Not to Touch the Earth from The Doors. And my guest tonight, who's been kind enough to stick around, is going to do, we'll do one more segment here because we got one more book to give away, and then let him go. John Densmore of The Doors, and I appreciate all of the great phone calls tonight, except for that one guy who'd obviously, he's on his way back, though. We have a lot of faith for him. John, what was I going to talk to you about here? I know. You spent a lot of time in Laurel Canyon, and you have a wonderful metaphor in the book about talking about the billboards, and you were the Doors were the first band they ever advertised with a billboard. Mm-hmm. Tell them that little story about how that happened.
Well, Laurel Canyon really represented rock and roll in the 60s. So we had the first billboard over the liquor store down there, and it was pretty amazing.
Over the liquor locker, probably.
The liquor locker, yeah. I remember this DJ asking us, why are you doing this? You can't hear a billboard, previously advertising perfume. And so many years later, after Jim died, we had an L.A. Woman billboard across the way. And Jack Holzman left it up for like 6 months after Jim died, which is a wonderful gesture. Then when I was writing the book, I realized these two billboards had faced each other, not simultaneously. And I wrote this metaphor about the first billboard facing east, the land we conquered, the Occidental, whatever, etc. The second one facing west, the end of Western civilization, and the end of our band.
Does that kind of... it's interesting. I was having this discussion with Dusty, who will be in next, Dusty Street, one night about these things that are called coincidences, but make you feel... those little moments in your life that make you feel connected to something larger. That to me would be one of them. I mean, it just says too much.
I think I said that those billboards were kind of pillars to Laurel Canyon rock of the 60s.
Yeah, there they were. How good would you say, and let's be honest here, how good would you say, and go ahead and brag, were you guys when it was the best? Because I kind of got a little bit of an arrogant attitude in the book about, when you guys were at your prime, that you could take on anybody.
Well, I was proud of how tight we were. There was only 3 of us and a singer. And I'm telling you, the key to a band is ensemble. And if it's 3 guys or 15, a big band, it's tight. If you play as much as one, therein lies all the power.
Yeah. You also made, for any young drummers coming up, you made a big point about playing on natural drums as opposed to electronic drums, and it had that you had the advantage over. It had something to do with technique or actually knowing how to play the instrument. Well,
yeah, electronic drums are a really good songwriting tool, but if you want to be a craftsman, a drummer, you go through the whole thing. And I have some Simmons electronic drums that go pew, pew.
Yeah.
And they're fun, and I use them sort of as auxiliary. Gotta keep up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go back to the phones here. Hi, you're on the air with John Densmore.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to start out by saying I've been listening to The Doors for a couple of years, but I have acquired all the albums. And I was wondering on one of my favorite songs, When the Music's Over, what was or actually who wrote most of the lyrics for that song if it was one person?
Well, Jim wrote all of the lyrics, but it was, it was 11 minutes, I think, the end being 10. It was one of our long epic poem type things, and it grew over time playing live.
In the studio, and this is something that always intrigued me about the band. It was, I keep coming back to this collective. One person would get an idea from another person, and that idea may bounce off the third, and then Ray would come in with something, and all of a sudden, and you had that opportunity to allow that to happen, and you really encouraged that to happen, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't Jim walking in going, "Here's the tune."
Mm-mm.
No.
Like I said, him not playing an instrument, he was kind of insecure.
You're on the air with John Densmore.
Hi, me?
Yes, you.
Hi, my name's Steve Katz. I'm calling from Los Alamitos, and Doors are my only obsession in life. I had a question regarding some of maybe live recordings, and I've acquired somewhat of a library of tapes of live shows. and unfortunately they're mostly pretty poor quality. I was wondering if there would be any of these released, or maybe even like a list of shows and set list, something like that.
Let me explain to you how much artists love the word bootleg. They just love that.
Oh, I don't care.
That's what I've heard from Ray, is that he kind of smiles when
Yeah.
we talk about this type of thing.
So what? I mean, everything is out there. There's nothing left in the can, no live stuff or anything. Although I'm sure we're going to get that American Prayer on CD.
Boy, let's hope so. Come on.
I heard something about that being on the box set. In
Yeah.
the box set.
Since you're such a Doors fan, how about you get the last copy of John's book?
Hey, that would be great. Hey, I'm a teacher. Can I say hi to one of my students who I know is listening?
Sure.
Hi, Tynell. How you doing?
It's nice.
Oh, well, I want to say hi, too, to all those people out there that have written me letters, that have read my book and had what Attitude Wendy said, an emotional experience as I did writing it, and I really got some beautiful letters. Thanks.
Oh, good, good. You hang on, and we're going to get you the last copy of John's
Hey, thanks
book.
a lot.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you,
it.
man. A couple of final things here before we go. There's no easy way to ask this. Do you feel cheated by Jim checking out when he did, or with perspective of time, did you do what you were supposed to do?
Well, yeah. When he died, as you can read, I was pretty angry, with his self-destruction. It's very difficult to have a buddy do this and not be able to stop him. And after a few years, I started really grieving about him and writing and getting into it. And time makes one feel, well, okay, that's what it was meant to be, He was on the short road, I'm on the longer road. Not that one is better than the other, but those are the roads.
But there you are. Okay. Man, I just want to thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. I recommend the book. It's Riders on the Storm. You can either get it in book form or in audio cassette. And John reads this himself. It is unabridged, unedited, and it's really worth the trip. Thank you very much for coming in, John.
Enjoyed it very much.
All right. I'm Jim Ladd. This is 97.1 KLSX Los Angeles.